You know, if you've ever played chess, one thing you know about the game is before you make a move, you're always thinking about your next move. You're never really thinking about the move that you're making. You're always thinking about the next move, and ultimately, you're thinking about making a checkmate. So, you know, the thing that I believe can be very dangerous with us whenever we pray or whenever we're talking to God, we can sometimes fall into this game of chess. We can be praying for one thing, but really what we really want is something else, and this can be very dangerous. I believe this is what really happened with Solomon. We see how Solomon, when he first received the kingdom, he prayed for wisdom, and he didn't ask for these riches or any of these things. But God knows the heart, and He knows what a person really wants, and He knows what a person is really after, and what will happen when you get it. Right here we read in 1 Chronicles 28:9. As for you, my son Solomon, know the God of your father, and serve him with a whole heart and a willing mind. For the Lord searches all hearts and understands every intent of the thoughts. If you seek him, he will let you find him. But if you forsake him, he will reject you. You know, it's a very important part here. It says he understands the intent of the thoughts. You know, and that's pretty deep. Like, you know, it's one thing for God to know the things we think. Because sometimes I believe we think something or we might say something, but we don't even know our own intentions behind what we think. So for an example, you know, maybe we might be praying to God. We might be like, Lord, help me to be patient. But we're not truly asking for godly patience just so we can be patient and pleasing to God. But we're asking to be patient because we're waiting for some money or we're waiting for something that we want. And so what we're really asking for is this thing that we're waiting for, you know, and we can put out words or we can pretend to God that we're asking for one thing, but really we want another thing. And it can be very dangerous. And I believe that we should really just search our own hearts and examine our motives and examine the things that we pray for and make sure that, you know what, we got to just throw away thinking about what we want to gain. And we have to just completely submit ourselves and say to God, you know what, Lord, just have your way. And Lord, please just change me and make my intentions become your intentions. Lord, help me to line my will up with your will. And this is the most important thing for us to do, because if our will is different from God's will, we're going to lose every time, you know, because God always has the last say. And that's just the fact of it. So we see in Solomon's life that at first, you know, God was pleased, and maybe Solomon's intentions really were good. Maybe he just wanted wisdom. But sure enough, he was corrupted by these riches and all these things that most people ask for, you know. And then the next thing you know, he started praising other gods, and he had so many other wives. And this was never God's plan. We see in the beginning that God made man and woman, and he made it to where a man is supposed to leave his mother and father and be joined to their wife in marriage. And this is supposed to be one woman and one man. It was never, you know, supposed to be this, you know, poly relationship or this man on man or woman on woman. This was never God's intentions. So, you know, the fact that he had so many different wives, this tore his heart, and it had him going after different guys, and his love was misplaced for God. So I believe that if we really want to have a deep relationship with God, we got to search our own hearts and understand that God knows our intentions behind our prayers. So if you're playing chess with God and you're like, okay, really I want this car, I'm gonna pray to God that he gives me a good job. Or I'm praying to God that God gives me wisdom, but really you don't want this wisdom. Really you want what you can get from the wisdom. When God just simply wants us to yearn for wisdom, just to be godly, just to be pleasing to him. So, you know, the one thing that we have to do daily is ask God to continue to transform us and to transform our intentions and our wants to be more like God. And don't get caught up in playing chess with God because you're guaranteed to lose. Something to think about.